as everybody knows. So this is the Bhagavad Gita. It's from the Vedic culture, where it's God, or Krishna, who's personally speaking to his dear friend and devotee, Arjuna. And there's a book, it's a book of love. How to love God. It's a how-to manual, but how to love God. So we heard about peace, and real peace for us humans is possible when we're united with our loving, dear Father, our source, Krishna, our God. And that's the goal, at least how I understand, of every religion, is to love God and serve God. And knowing every living entity is part and parcel of God, we treat each other with respect. And that's how we can, with that mentality, we can achieve real peace. So Krishna, I compiled a few promises. There are many, many promises in our scriptures, but God promises to give himself to one who's willing and ready for a loving relationship with him. Love means service. In fact, God is happy and willing to serve his devotees. When we love God, he actually becomes the servant of his servants, because he's not stone. He reciprocates. And that's his promise, that those who are interested in me, I'm interested in them in a loving relationship. Then he says, he makes the promise that I give you the tools to reach me. That is through my representatives. Just like in Christianity, it is said Jesus Christ is the way to God. Similarly, in the Vedic scriptures, in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that spiritual master, one who represents God, who understands the knowledge of loving God, such a person can guide us based on the teachings of scriptures all the way back to our loving relationship with God. So when we are in this material world, suffering through birth, death, old age, disease, wars, all kinds of things, it's like a fish out of water. We are aspiring for happiness, but we really are looking in the wrong places, because we are spiritual beings, part of the Supreme Being. This body is born, it grows, it dies over time. It's material, just like anything matter. This building, this chair, this furniture, everything is going to end one day. It's temporary. Spirit is eternal, and we are eternal. That's the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. The spirit lives on eternally, which is part of God. So God makes a promise that however you reach out to me, that's exactly how I reciprocate. And that's God's love. So if somebody is lovingly reaching out as a servant of God, God will reach out as well as a loving father. If somebody has animosity towards God, God will give you the intelligence to prove there is no God. And whatever ideas that will help fulfill your desire that there is no God, that's what he will do, because his love is unconditional. It's not about, I'm going to hard code you to love me and that's it, there's no other way. It's about free will. However we choose, he allows that to happen. That's God's love. So he promises to reciprocate if, however, we reach out to him. Another promise is of being neutral and fair to all living entities. So I'll quote Bhagavad Gita. So, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in loving devotion is a friend. And he lives in my heart, and I live in his or her heart. Such a person is never lost to me, and I'm never lost to that person. Again, this is a message of love. And Krishna is being very inviting. That if you reach out to me, I'm here. Not only I'm here, you live in my heart, and I live in yours. Isn't that wonderful?
Beautiful.
Very sweet.
Beautiful.
And then he assures that those who are progressing towards him will never fail. Namyam bhaktya pranashyati in Sanskrit. Which means it's not like we will not fail, just like a child learns to walk, right? Falls multiple times, falters. And Krishna says in the next verse that even though he might seem to be falling, I'll quickly pick him up and he'll walk towards me. No questions. That's Krishna's promise. Very encouraging. Constantly, this book has 700 verses, but Krishna constantly encourages us to walk towards us, faltering, falling a little bit here and there, but he'll pick us up. He promises that. That's his promise. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. A little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. What is the most dangerous type of fear that we have? Death. There is something else. If anybody over here, anybody had close to death experience? Yeah, me too. When I was a child, I had asthma. And there was one day I remember I couldn't breathe. And I felt like I was going to die. And my biggest fear was, what happens after death? Once this body stops working, what will happen? Is there a life? Is there no life? Is there heaven? Is there hell? I didn't have the Bhagavad Gita, so I didn't have any answer. But Krishna says, then one who even steps a little bit in this direction, there is no loss or diminution. And the biggest fear is removed. With knowledge, Krishna is constantly giving reassurance. I am there for you. If you come towards me, you'll not fail. I'll help you. I'll hold you. Come back to me. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. So if somebody is in the Amazon forest, or somebody is Aborigine in Australia, where there is no question of, finding one of us, Krishna says, nevertheless, no matter who it is, if they're desirous of knowing me, I will give them the intelligence and the understanding by which they can come back to me. I've known many people like that. I won't tell stories now because I have only 7 minutes, but, would love to share later. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. This is the essence verse. This is the last instruction of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Very powerful. I'll repeat it. Abandon all varieties of religion. He gives all varieties of religion. Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, all kinds of things. And he says, now that you know all this, just know one thing. Surrender unto me. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of all your sinful reactions. Do not worry. Masachaha, do not worry. I'm here for you. And it's not surrender like with the white flag. Oh God, I surrender unto you. No, it's surrender with love. That I surrender to your will because I know you're the most well-wisher person out there for me. So you know best. And that's why I surrender my will to you. And Krishna says, I will take care of you. Don't worry. So these are the few verses. And I was just appreciating that this book is not about Hindus. It's not about Indians. It's not about a certain sect or a certain religion. It's a book for everyone of all faiths, of all skin colors, genders, sexual orientations, nationalities. Doesn't matter. If anybody is interested to understand God and love God, that's what this message is. There's not once it is mentioned is for Hindus. The word Hindu doesn't exist, right? So it is about loving God, and it's a message directly from God. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.